Hello and welcome back to Tommy's Top Picks Weekly Roundup Podcast, episode 54. I'm your host, Tommy, joined by John.
How's it going?
Good. It's a good week. Did a lot of things.
Been a busy week for me, mostly work related, but a couple of other things happened.
I did some fun things.
Yay.
But yeah, how was your week? I guess we just talked about that.
Yeah, busy.
It was busy. I did a bunch of fun things.
Yep.
I put together a shelf this week,
That can be fun.
which was fun. Got to organize all my sealed stuff. Did some singles organizing. Got the Warhammer Kill Team starter set fully built, but we'll get into that. What else was I?
That it? Just boring, simple shelf building.
Yeah, that's about it.
Kill team.
So we have multiple topics of this week. We're going to be discussing what I'm bringing to ProQuest, what John should be bringing to ProQuest, but he won't come.
Yeah, I was just saying that's not happening.
And then in the Discord, we had an interesting discussion, and I came to the conclusion of what people would think about the idea of TCG Player having an Amazon-like effect. And what I mean by Amazon-like effect is there's a point where you just go to Amazon because you assume, like, it used to be that Amazon was just always the cheapest, right? Like you ordered things on Amazon because it was the best deal. But
Is that so?
not for TCGs, just like in life.
Okay. I always went because it was convenient.
Right,
When I first started.
cheap, yeah.
Cheap, I guess, is true most of the time. Yeah. It's kind of like the Walmart online.
Right, exactly. And so I was comparing that to TCG Player with a recent spike of prices of Flesh and Blood cards. And it might just be that the availability on there is so low, it's pushing so the only ones left are the ones that are up for higher prices. Whereas if you just went and looked somewhere else, say eBay, for the same card, you could get it for the price that it has been pre-ProQuest spike.
That's possible. I can see that.
So that's going to be our two main points. We may talk about other things we usually do. But
always.
That'll be the main meat of this podcast. But before we go into that, we can talk about what we pulled. We both opened Pokemon product this week.
Nice.
You want to talk about yours?
Mine was frustration with my bundles.
Yeah.
So I said I'd do a giveaway, and I did. And that video will be going up or has gone up. I can't remember. No, it's next week. Yeah, next Saturday it goes up. But it is opened and mailed off to the winner already. So those who participated were interested, just so you know, it is done. Yeah, it was fun. It was actually pretty fun to open it. It was Lost Origins bundles as opposed to booster boxes. That's a big mistake I made. And they were interesting to open. I have to say, there's some gorgeous art in the Pokemon set in general. The foiling is really cool. I actually really enjoyed the different type of foiling because they have multiple.
Yes.
And I don't know what they're all called, but there's like the one where it's just in the art box. There's the one where it's the normal one, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah, the normal one where it's just in the art box. And then there's the trainer gallery. There is the V stars. There's the Vs. There's the V maxes. There's the
Those are all different foils?
Full arts. Yeah. They're all different kinds of foils. Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Yeah. So all I know is there's one that's like an X pattern, and then there's another one that's like
the X,
more rainbowy.
Yeah, so the X pattern, you get one in every pack. That's called a reverse foil.
And that's the text is foiled?
Yeah, so like the box is foiled. Or like the
art.
But not the art.
Yeah.
And then the art, I believe, is called full hollow.
Yeah, I think I found that when I was looking up prices on one of them. And then, it's just they have really gorgeous foiling. They do a good job with it. It's very, it's not like cold foils, right? Like I feel like cold foils pop more and are like
it's more of
better
like
look overall. But but it's definitely fun to have all the different variations and stuff. And the full arts are gorgeous. Like some of the art is just really nice.
Yeah.
Pokemon's interesting. It's I was looking at the gallery because you sent it to me for
Yeah,
this next set or whatever,
yeah.
and I don't know, man. You're a fan, but they have some in there that are like claymation pictures. One of them is a knitted Snorlax. I was like, it feels weird that Pokemon is in like physical form, you know?
I love the knitted ones. The knitted ones are adorable.
That feels weird to me. Very strange. But
But
anyways,
yeah, the
what'd you
Galarian
open?
Gallery in Crown Zenith is looking awesome. That's kind of like the trainer gallery that's been around in the past couple sets. They just renamed it.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So the idea is to have a picture of the Pokemon with their trainer
Yeah. Now I did
in the
hear,
same art.
and I don't know if this is accurate for this set or what, but there's like a evolution in those trainers or whatever they're called now. So like you get to see like almost a story told across the series of them. Does that make sense? Does that sound right? Or is that a later set?
Um, I'm not sure, but that would be really cool.
Yeah, so which would increase the collectability, right? Because
Oh
then
yeah,
it's almost like a mini comic book, and each frame is like one of the cells in the comic or whatever, and it's just like tells a little story. I mean, it's not like a huge story or anything. There's no text or anything, but it's just like this idea of like a story that all has the pieces. So now
oh
you
yeah,
have to have
yeah.
them all, otherwise you don't have the full story, right?
Gotta
Like,
catch them
oh
all,
yeah,
John.
I was gonna
Gotta
say,
catch
like,
them all.
what a good way to increase the collectability there.
Oh yeah.
So, anyways,
Yeah, so I went to a CC Armory yesterday, and while I was there, they had the new Paldea starter boxes that just came out, and it has the Quaxley, which is the best boy, Sprigatito, and Fuecoco, which are the new starters for the new Scarlet and Violet,
okay.
and they have the silver borders.
So, what is
And
this product you just said? What was it called?
the Paldea starter
What is
kit.
that?
So it comes with two. It came with two. It's like one of those plastic, bulky, take up too much space,
Like a
but fun to
blister thing?
open. Yeah, there's four booster packs,
Okay.
and but it's in that like plastic display that comes with
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
promos
I
and
know what
stuff.
you're talking about now. Yeah, yeah. Yep.
So the promos in it are the first English silver border cards.
Got it. And what is it called? That product line?
I don't know.
You just named it. What'd you call this?
Oh well, Paldea is the new area,
Oh, that's
is the
the
new
era.
region, new region.
Oh, oh, oh. I see.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
Scarlet and Violet take place in Paldea.
In Paldaria. Got it right. I was like, what is Paldaria? Okay,
Paldea.
Paldea. Whatever.
I think so.
I'll
I think
I'll
I'm
learn
pronouncing
some
it right.
Pokemon stuff. All right, we're focusing too much on Pokemon for a fad
But
centric
right, I
channel.
know, I know. I just wanted to go over that I was questionable about the silver borders because I am a big fan of the yellow borders. I mean, I've been following since I was a kid. So I mean, it's yellow borders were always the thing, and now they're gone, except for Fuller. But I'm sold. They look great, even just these promos. The only difference between the boxes is the center one, so they're named after the three different ones, and the one that your box is named has a special. They have promos of all three starters in each one, but whatever box you have, you get a special promo of that one that's different.
Gotcha.
And
I do
what?
have a question because no
Yes.
one answered in my comment section while I was opening the video. I'm very sad about that because I have questions.
Yeah,
And so you're my Pokemon expert. Um,
that's a shame.
yeah, right. In these bundles,
Yeah.
I got a whole case of them.
Hmm.
Is it like getting a case of booster box where it's like you're pretty much guaranteed if you open the entire case, you're going to get one of the hot pulls or some such? Um, or is it everything in Pokemon like on a per pack basis? Like, what if I open this whole case? Besides wasting a lot of money, am I going to get something awesome? And
You
this is the
probably will.
bundles.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
probably will.
that's how they do it. They do
Yeah.
have a like,
No,
was it
it's not
track?
like it's not like Flesh and Blood where it used to be like pre 2.0 in Flesh and Blood. It would used to be like you buy a sealed case, so you're almost guaranteed a legendary.
Okay,
It's not really like that in Pokemon. It's kind of just like it can be. It's just random.
so so
Um,
so my because it's me, I won't. It's what
no,
I'm
but with the amount of packs that you are opening, you should hit one or two. Now, are those one or two going to be the most valuable ones, like the Machamp? Because remember, this is Lost Origins, right?
hearing. Yeah.
I believe that was the one that didn't have. Oh no, Lost Origins has some big hitters. Um, but yeah, so it might if you are looking to just get rid of this, one thing to
Yeah,
do
well,
is
yeah, I'm like, should I just tear this damn
just
thing open
tear it
and be
all
done with it?
open
Yeah,
and then
I just,
sell the singles,
I mean, or toss them in a box and throw them in a trash can or something.
or give them to a friend that has kids,
That's fine. Yeah, if
and they
anyone
will
out there
thoroughly
wants
enjoy it.
Pokemon or cards, I don't know anyone that.
I know people that would appreciate just the bulk.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, we've talked a lot about Pokemon. I just really wanted to talk about Mr. Quaxley here because he is a good boy.
A good boy, the
I
best boy.
started. It got me so excited. I actually downloaded Pokemon Scarlet last night, and Jillian downloaded Pokemon Violet, and we dove into it a little bit, and it's really fun. It's really cute.
Oh, it's out on what, the
Switch,
Switch? Got it.
and you can play up to
Got it.
4-player co-op and just run around the world together. It's pretty cool.
Cool. Yeah. I'm not doing it.
No, I know, I know, I know.
Last time I tried the Pokemon game, I didn't play for more than like 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I usually go. I collect all the badges and then don't really do end game.
Yeah, I mean,
That's kind of my
I
thing.
played 2 hours and I was like, I don't care anymore.
But
It's just not my
uh,
game.
getting
It's all
into
good.
what we played, I played some Arachne CC and some Dash CC. I played that, so to get into the main topic, but I went to that CC event on this past Thursday was Blitz, so I did play Blitz. Play Kasai. Lost my first match to Dory because that matchup is roll a dice, evens or odds.
And this is Royal Kasai.
Royal Kasai. Was very close. It was a close match though. And then who else did I play? Then I had a bye, and then I played an Arachne, and I won that game. And then in CC yesterday, I brought Dash because I'm trying to decide who to bring. Dash seems like the answer, but less fun. And
We should get breaks.
yeah, exactly. And it went okay. First matchup was against Alexi, won that pretty easily. But so the matchup there, like the Dash and Lexi can stall Dash, but it doesn't really stop Dash. It just delays. And with like there were only 2 turns where I wasn't able to get Hanabi Blaster token or counter.
Right.
So just the mass amount of output damage because Lexi can't really block and trade well with all of her 2
Effectively, yeah.
blocks.
Yep.
So it's really just a race. And when Lexi's trying to stall you and race you, it's not going to happen.
No, definitely not.
But then my second game was against Kano. It was going great. We were going back and forth.
We know how this story ends. Go ahead.
And then
just based on how you started it. And then
I presented lethal.
Kano things.
I got him down to 2 cards in hand. Presented lethal. Risked it at 14 health with no resources left. Presented lethal. And he got there.
I was saying,
Exactly.
that's like suicide. 14 is relatively easy.
Right, but he had 2 cards in hand.
It's still, yeah, it's relatively easy.
Yeah.
With a Kano.
But it took him 20 minutes
to figure it out.
Figure it out. And I let him because I mean we're friends. It's all good.
Yeah. Let him
if you like, I was just like, if you can figure this out, GG. Like,
yeah,
good luck. And he
if he has his boots left, and unless he did something foolish early on, that's almost a death sentence with a good Kano player. I mean, but you can always like accidentally.
Then I was dead next turn anyway. If I didn't,
yeah. I mean, that's the game. Yeah. That's the fun of it.
But and I had 14 health, and he was only able to present 14.
Right.
So, but then I played against a Viserai, and dear Lord, rune chance everywhere.
Was it OTK version? Is that how it played, or no?
There was a 28 damage turn off of a double Rune Blood, Revel in Rune Blood.
Nice.
and that was on the back of a 15 damage turn. So yeah, that one didn't end well either.
Yeah, well, that's a high roll though, because that
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah, yeah.
happen every time with them.
No, no,
That's
no.
that's why I was like, dash is your baseline because others can spike higher for sure. There's
Right.
no doubt.
But the
It's just
consistency.
yeah, the consistency is that 20 damage turn is pretty much every turn,
Yeah.
at minimum.
Yeah.
So
There were some. It was hard getting. It was harder getting the counters. I might make some changes to the deck. I think I need to pull out a couple cards just to have a couple more boost to
mhm.
guarantee. There were a couple there were a couple turns where there was no way to get three, even with an
Interesting.
arsenal card. And
Interesting.
so I think my ratio, I just with the
You just
Navi
overdid it a
blaster.
little bit. Yeah.
No, like the ratio, I need more boost cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but then
Cool.
I played that Viscerai in uh, with my Arachne, and that was a much closer game. But I don't know. I think I might play Arachne. I think I might just do it.
At the ProQuest? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
at Pro Tour or at Battlehorn.
Uh, oh, the Balhorn,
At
that's
the
what I meant.
Battlehorn.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'll have a full night's rest after drinking a
Oh
bunch,
god,
and
7
then 7 games of Arachne.
games of Arachne. That sounds like freaking torture. Good
But
luck.
yeah, I mean,
You do
it's
it and let us know if you have any brain cells by the end of the day.
right. Okay, so here's the question: would I rather have 0 brain cells or just be super tilted?
Why would you be tilted? What about Dash would tilt you? You're
Yeah, I guess you're right. I think I would be more tilted with Arachne.
you'd just be more exhausted, so easier to tilt. You know what I mean? And
Right.
it's not like it's gonna be super competitive, so you're gonna be like 2-2 or something and still have 3 games left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess the decision would be more so what I think
It's
there's going to be more of because Arachne
yeah.
has an auto loss to Dromai and Dash has an
Oh,
auto loss to Arachne.
that's
Those are the
funny.
two like worst.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Yeah, so bring Oldhim.
No. Screw that.
Just messing with
No. No,
you.
no, no.
I think Oldham's gonna perform.
Absolutely. Yeah, and
Oh,
so if
man.
Oldham's going to be around, maybe I play Arachne.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that's a tough call. I think, so speaking of this, I actually wanted to bring this up while we're talking on this topic. Talishar PSA came out, I guess, 17 hours ago as of the recording of this. So I don't know, by the time
Mhm.
you're listening, a day or two ago. For everyone prepping for next week, be careful using your experiences on Talishar to predict what the meta will look like. It's primarily a testing tool, so experimental decks are all overrepresented.
Oh, absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
love that they put that out on Twitter though, like, and it got a lot of retweets and such because everyone's like, "Yeah,
Oh, I
I
bet.
mean, but that's the problem. Some people don't know, and there's a lot of new people, and Talashar's like their primary practicing situation,
Oh,
because they
yeah.
haven't
Yeah,
gotten
yeah.
into their local armory or whatever
Yeah.
yet. And, they just that's or they don't have it. I've seen a lot more messages about I don't have a shop local to me now
Oh, yeah,
because
me
there's
too.
there's a ton of people joining in places that haven't had the shop, so they're new
Yep.
advocates, which is cool.
Yep.
And it's great that the game's spreading, but it's a lot of people are going to have misconceptions about what their first big competitive event's going to look like. They're going to
Absolutely.
go in there and be like, I know how to play against X, Y, and Z, and then be like, I had no idea X, Y, and Z could do that.
Yep. Yeah. So I was playing against a relatively new player against the Arachne at the Blitz event,
Mhm, mhm.
and they were like, "So what does Kasai do?" And
Murder your face.
and so I explained, and
Painful
then
way.
I felt it necessary to explain blood on her hands and the copper and what I was doing, so
Yeah,
he
yeah,
wasn't
that's
just
fair.
like, "What's going on?"
Yeah,
And
because you're just
so
gonna get
I
slammed so hard.
Yeah, so I pulled out and I explained the combo with the 4 free swings with not paying anything, and then I may have X amount of attack reactions in my hand at
Yep.
the end of the game in a 20 health game. And his eyes got real big. It can do what?
It can be broken, but
Yeah.
that's not the only deck in Blitz.
No, no, no. No. And it has its bad matchups and it has its fair matchups. And yeah,
Yeah, totally.
it's a fair deck.
It's
It
a
just
gross fair deck.
it's a fair deck that if the combo goes off, wins the game.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Um,
Relatively consistent getting there.
yes, given enough time. Um, but where are we in our list here? I also played some other games. If we want to talk about those,
Sure. Yeah.
so I dove into Pokemon Live and remembered that I bought a bunch. So Pokemon TCG Online is being replaced by Pokemon Live. Currently, both online clients are active, but they are sunsetting TCG Player Online. Or no, Pokemon TCG Online. And
Okay.
so I moved everything over to Pokemon Live so I can play on like it has a smartphone app now, opposed to the other one that just had iPad and PC. So now I can play on PC and my iPhone. So I'll be able to get more games in. And I'm a big Lugia fan, and Lugia is the meta deck right now. And it is wild and it's super combo-y fun. And I'm actually really enjoying the game because I don't have to really. It's a John deck. Like, I don't
Mhm.
have to care about what my opponent's doing. I just have to do my thing. And if I pull my
And
thing off,
avoid death.
I
Yeah.
win.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you throw a bunch of like junk out, don't lose all your prizes, and then you build up a Lugia to V Star on your border on your deck. Meanwhile, you play a bunch of powerful discard cards, so you gain the benefit of like paying the tax of discarding a card, but really you're discarding these two Pokemon that you want to be discarded, so that when your Lugia comes out, you can use the V Star ability, which is a once per game ability, but pulls two normal Pokemon from your graveyard to your bench. And then once you do that, they both have abilities that allow you to turbocharge and put two colorless energy from your deck to a Pokemon on your bench or to any of your Pokemon. And so it's just like super crazy mana ramp, and then you just win because you're doing so much damage.
Cool. Sounds fun. I mean, I don't think I'll be playing any Pokemon, but
No, that's fair.
I
But
get I get the concept.
yeah,
I understand that feel. It's a
and
good feel.
the other exciting thing is I got the Warhammer Kill Team starter kit completely built and primed. So it is ready to be painted, but it is also ready to play. So that is very
Nice.
exciting. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be
Hopefully we can
getting
get
some
that.
games in with some friends, hopefully soon. And then once we figure out how to play and get a decent amount of it painted, we'll put together a video.
Oh, so they're not painted, they're just put together.
They're put together and primed, so they're all
I
black
got it, got it,
currently.
got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
But so they're in a playable condition.
Got it. Cool.
Not tournament legal because you need three colors, but
So
playable.
before we jump, I did want to bring up one other thing that I find interesting about this season.
Hmm.
There are a lot more prize pools with Flesh and Blood this season than I've seen ever. I don't know if
Really?
you've noticed that, but a lot of stores, a lot of places, even one of our locals is actually offering like significant cash prizes. I just heard of one that's offering 20K in prizes.
Wait, what?
Not near us, not near us. No, but the point is that I heard about the one near us and I was like, wow, that's crazy. We've never had that. And then now I'm hearing about it all over the place. So that shows some very serious interest from shops across the country that
That's
they're
great.
willing to put up real like money prizes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's significant. Yeah, and that's this. You know how we talked a while ago about how Flesh and Blood can't take over for Magic in a store from a revenue
Mm,
standpoint at this point because
yeah, sure.
it's just not big enough. There's just not enough boxes coming off the shelf compared to Magic. It just
Right,
isn't.
right.
But it will get to that point at some point, right? Where it will be
I
that
think
big.
so.
And this is a sign that shop owners are seeing that possibility now.
Hmm.
You know, it's not there yet, but they're willing to invest basically marketing dollars into the game to
Hmm.
build it up so that it can help be that revenue stream, that's significant. That's a very interesting business factor that this is the first time I've seen it, since we've been watching the space, these big prizes that, you know, local games, local, regular event, not like a big,
Yeah,
regional event or whatever. It's a local event. So pretty cool.
yeah,
Definitely interesting.
absolutely. Yeah, I think, and another thing is stores are. I think we owe a lot to the Flesh and Blood community. Kind of preview, I guess, for next week's podcast, where we talk about how important it is to have a local community and the idea that Flesh and Blood's positive community is really uh, shops are enjoying it.
Yeah, I bet.
where they
I
have a
bet
bunch of
they
like I was talking to one of the store managers at my armory, and they were saying about how all these issues that they were having with their magic community and like all this not so great stuff happening and toxic stuff happening in their popper community, which is magic, a magic format. And she was just praising the flesh and blood community at the store because there's never any issues. It's super easy that we judge ourselves. Like
Yeah,
we
we
can
try to
just
be good. We
we
want a
yeah,
good game.
yeah,
We don't want to win by cheesing or cheating or sniping or whatever they call the different
right,
ways of getting
right,
around rules. We
right.
want to make sure that we won legitimately.
Yeah, and
Uh,
we want
cool.
people to feel included and we want the community to grow, which is then better for the store.
Yeah.
And just I think stores are realizing that it's not just really the game, but it's the people that Flesh and Blood is bringing in and the kind of community standard that we are setting. And I think that a lot of that is coming from the Flesh and Blood content creators because they kind of preach that Flesh and Blood community is a more accepting, less toxic community, and that having that is how the game grows. Because having that as a sales pitch, how many people leave Magic because of the toxicity?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's
And
definitely
so,
a problem.
like, if Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro aren't pushing them away, maybe the toxicity in their local community is.
Yeah,
And then,
I want to give shout out to Watsy because I will say that's one thing they have tried to focus on in the past year or two, because they were not that way. There was a good decade where toxicity was rampant, and I'm
mhm,
talking like the worst vileness in Magic World. And now they have done a 180 on that and really tried to stop it. But it's so big, it's slow to change. You know, you have people that have been coming to the same shop for 20 years. You know what I mean? So
right.
whereas Flesh and Blood is doing a good job of trying to prevent it from happening in the first place, which I think is
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. They saw what it can do to a community and we're like, let's not do that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure,
But
for
it takes the
sure.
community to do that. A company can't just say it is and that's how it is.
Of course,
It
yeah,
takes,
it's all based on your
yeah.
community. So,
Hmm.
at your local community, don't accept toxicity in your Flesh and Blood Armory and whatever events. You know,
Yeah. Don't make us liars.
well, don't allow it because you
Yeah.
don't want that.
Exactly.
It'll
No.
hurt your community. It'll hurt the growth of the game in your local. Like I don't think anyone wants toxicity and
No. I'm coming.
sniping and all that
I,
stuff.
yeah. When I'm playing, I'm coming after work. I've worked all day. I want to just have fun and play cards with friends. If I win, great. If I lose, fine. Like,
I I get people wanting high competitiveness. That
yeah. And
is
I
a
play
thing, and that's what
competitively.
leads to
Yeah.
some of that stuff. But
Right.
even this is one thing that Flesh and Blood did approach, and that was their big statement after the whole rule sniping thing. They made a specific press release and said, "Look, we want you to win legitimately, not by trying to like slide around the rules and be pedantic and all this stuff."
Right.
And they made it clear that that's unacceptable. You know, they want good sporting behavior. That is to say, you're not trying to sneak one by your opponent. You're playing by the rules, openly by the rules, and doing your best to follow the rules and game states completely. And that's huge. To say that as a game company for top tier competitions, to say if you play these goofy games around trying to cheat the rules a little bit, where it's technically not cheating, but it's kind of a bad sporting behavior, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then we will watch you and we will ban you from the game. Like they basically straight out said that when it happened once at one event, and it hasn't
Mhm.
happened since, which is fantastic. Like that's the tone you have to set, and I think you carry it through to your local community of like, let's have a good game, not a game where I trick you because you had no idea how this thing worked. You know?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the way, in my opinion. Makes it so much better.
Yeah. And it's
Anyways,
important. It's important to the growth of the game.
for sure.
But last thing before we get into real main topics are over on Tommy's Top Shelf Comics, where Murphy and I talk about the top 5 comics of the week. We had another video where we put out the top 5 comics of the week because there was another week with more comics. Our number 5 was Fantastic Four number 3. Our number 4 was Spider-Man number 4. We're getting towards the end of the Spider-Verse, the final Spider-Verse book for now. Uh, so they say. The end of the Spider-Verse. which is a big deal because these Spider Verse books that come around have been coming around every couple of years. They're the ones that are being put into those new movies, and they introduce a lot of new Spider-Man because it's just new characters. So there's first appearances in a lot of the books, good speculation, but also a great read. Spy Superb #1, which was sounds hilarious. It's about this guy who's just to become the perfect spy. He has to know he's not a spy. They have to use someone that doesn't know they're a spy. So they basically just pay for this idiotic guy to go to all these different places and have circumstantial things happen to him, but then accomplishing spy goals. I haven't read it yet. We just read the synopsis. It came out this past week, but it sounds hilarious. And then Children of the Black Sun, which seems super interesting. So like it's happened twice where the sun just rose and it was black, and children that were conceived that night were born and have like these black eyes and all these things. Horror book. And
Yeah, I
so
was
it's
gonna say that sounds creepy.
yeah. It's the artist is the same one who did House of Slaughter, the spin-off book from Something is Killing the Children. So big fan of that because I've just been reading those. I just caught up on that this week. House of Slaughter. I read the first 2 volumes. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So, and really enjoyed the art. So looking forward to checking this out. I've been in kind of like a horror comic binge kind of mood. So that's been fun. And then #5, we start a new arc for Batman. So Batman, Chip Zdarsky is starting his second arc with leaving the failsafe arc behind us. So need to catch up on that though.
Cool. Let's check out the comic channel.
Yeah, so check out Tommy's Top Shelf Comics. We talk about comics. It's a lot of fun. So we need to make a decision. No, we're not going to make a decision because I'm going to make the decision the day of. I'm going to bring both my Dash deck and my Arachne deck.
There you go.
And I will make the decision day of what I am feeling and what I think more people will be bringing. I'm going to be doing some testing probably at night if I have time before. We're going to be getting up there late Friday night.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But we probably won't be able to just go to bed when we get there. So we'll probably get some games.
Yeah. What was how's it start? Like, what time does it start?
9:30.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sad. I'm not going. It's just like I've done the big all day tournament stuff.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good. It's cool if that's your thing. It's not my jam. I like it casual.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I mean,
Pro Tour was great. It had lots of little side events that were fun. I'm
Right,
sure there'll be
exactly.
good side events there too. But
There will be.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of like the one we went to in King of Prussia.
Okay. Yeah,
It's a
that
Star
was
City Games
that
one.
was okay. I missed mine. Is it Star City hosting it as well? Man, they gotta fix their app.
Yeah.
That upset me. I came all that way to play a
Yep.
game, and then it registered incorrectly, and I didn't get to play.
Yeah, that's
Very
stupid.
frustrating. That was very frustrating, but it's fine. Hopefully that gets updated.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just doing the main Battle Harden, and then I'll be coming home that evening after that, or probably after food.
The Battle Harden doesn't have a day 2, right? It's just
Correct.
like even if you get top 8, it doesn't have a day 2. Okay.
Correct. Day 2
Now, if you
is
get top 8, how long are you gonna be playing? Would it be like until midnight or 2 in the morning or something?
No.
Okay.
Because it's 50 minutes starting at 9:30. So you get 10:30.
But they're not right on top of
So
each
like
other.
no, so it'd be like 4:30. You'd probably be finished 4:35 with the 7 games.
Yeah, and then the top 8 is another
2,
3 games?
3
2
games.
games? 3 games? I think it's 3.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Top 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top 8,
Yeah.
top 4, top
Yeah.
1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top 2.
No. Oh, yeah.
8,
So
4, 2.
3 games. Yeah, 3
3
games.
games.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So and then I'd have to drive like an hour and a half, 2 hours home. So I'd be getting home pretty late, but I don't think I'm going.
You're like, I'm not making it.
I'm not making it, so
that
I'm not
far."
even worried. I'm not even planning that into my schedule.
That's
It's
fair.
fine. I'm there to have fun and support my friends. And some of my friends, I think,
I
have
was
a
gonna say,
good
what
shot.
if one of your friends, because you guys are all driving together, right?
Yeah, but I'm a lot of them are staying for. I'm the only one
Oh,
driving
the
back.
next day.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Got
Yeah. So, I mean, if one of them is in top 8, I'm absolutely staying and rooting for them.
That's funny.
But yeah.
So just to circle on one thing, I did a
Hmm.
quick search because I was curious. Because I saw that 20K, it was actually an invitational. It wasn't just a regular like ProQuest. It was an invitational. So there's a separate outside of normal tournament that's
Hmm.
a 20K prize pool. That's crazy. Okay,
Hmm.
that's cool that people are organizing these kinds of events.
Yeah.
And then I saw another 1K just CC night, a
Yeah.
1K prize pool for just a regular CC night.
Yeah.
What? That's nuts. That's such good support. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Anyway, sorry. I was like, I wonder how many of these there are now.
Flesh and
Quite a few.
Blood is the competitive card game.
Yeah, it's a thing now. Like that, the prize pool thing is really gonna
Like, I'm not
ramp
even
it up.
afraid to like what else is
Yeah.
Magic? Is
No.
it?
I
No.
mean, well, not like
No.
that. At
No.
least I haven't seen that in a
Uh-uh.
while.
No. I mean, there's 1K like modern tournaments and then 1K stuff like that, but I don't know if I could consider
Well,
that
and
game
like the Battle
competitive.
Harden, that was mostly a Magic event, anyways.
Yeah.
That had massive prize pool. I think it was like 50K.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, is the game competitive though?
Yes.
Doubt.
You yes. Yes, and it was competitive long before Flesh and Blood existed. And in fact, the founder of Flesh and Blood was a competitive Magic player. So
Yeah, I know.
yes,
But I don't think I
yeah.
don't think I don't think it is as competitively viable of a game
Oh, it
as
absolutely
Flesh and
is.
Blood.
It's that they just the way they make do with the randomness of mana is best of three.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, yes, it absolutely is.
I see that.
And
That
they
makes sense.
fix it by best of three it instead of best of one. That's the difference. Fab is far more of a balanced game so that you don't need best of.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, yes, it is. There've been multi-million-dollar pools and tournaments in that game. It absolutely does still work as a competitive game. They haven't supported it recently, which is where it's sad. But yeah.
No, I'm not saying
Anyways,
it's not a competitive game. I'm just saying it's not as competitive as Flesh and Blood.
75% of that was a tournament, man. When we went to the
I'm talking about
casino.
quality of game, not number of people.
Okay, I'm just saying there was a lot of people there competing. It's a
Yeah,
competitive game.
right.
It's hard to argue that it isn't when
No,
outsiders are putting on tournaments that are
I'm not
drawing in
saying
more
it's
people.
not a competitive game. I'm saying Flesh and Blood is the more competitive game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not sure what that means exactly, but that's fine.
I don't either.
Now we're arguing about things we don't even understand.
Exactly. But yeah, anything else you wanted to talk? Oh, and then whatever, I don't know. The following weekend we have our ProQuest. So I'm going to be probably bringing, I don't know, maybe I'll bring the other deck that I didn't. I'll take what I learned at that one, bring it there. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Up in the air. I thought I was going to make a choice on the podcast, but I'm going to make a choice the day of.
You're
Both
like, I
decks
changed my
ready.
mind.
I don't know. Like, yeah, I get the whole like dash is really good, but Arachne's just fun. Like, even when I lose, just have fun playing the game.
Well, play for fun then. Who
But
cares?
also, I've only played it with friends, and I don't really want to touch random people's decks.
Well, you don't. I thought the rule was for
No, the rule is
tournaments.
for you do it.
Oh, I thought there was an official statement about that. That
Was there?
you they lift the card up and show it to you and then put it back on the deck.
Okay,
I
that
think
would be
that was
nice.
a ruling. At one of the judges in our Discord brought it up, which is why I thought that was official.
Okay,
I could be wrong.
let us
Ask
know
in
in
the
the
Discord.
comments.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Because yeah, touching other people's very expensive cards seems like a very risky thing to
yeah,
allow in a
yes,
tournament.
yes,
So yeah,
yes. Um, cool. So, well, we will figure that out when the day comes, and next podcast I'll be telling you about how it went.
sounds good. It'll be fun. Now, your other topic.
Yes. So I had said something in the Discord, and I was like, "Ooh, John, podcast idea." So I feel that TCG player is having this almost Amazon like effect. And by what I mean by Amazon effect is that people just go and to TCG Player and assume that is the best price for the card when but currently there's a lot of better deals on eBay and other places where cards have kind of stayed the same price. They may have
Give me an
corrected by now.
example,
They may have
because
corrected by
people
now.
don't have the context from the Discord. Give me an
Yeah,
example.
the,
What are you
the
talking
example
about?
from the Discord was oh shoot.
Crown of Providence?
No. It was oh, I gotta go to the right channel. This round's on me.
Oh, yeah, that was nuts. That
Yes.
was
Yeah.
nuts.
So this round's on me spiked to like $28 just for the normal version, normal first edition version, which first edition Tales of Aria is cheaper than unlimited Tales of Aria because unlimited Tales of Aria doesn't exist. And so that card spiked for whatever reason, probably like anti-fi, anti-dromai kind of stuff. Maybe, I don't know. I just feel like there's always like some random majestic that pumps before ProQuest, and then I never see it in ProQuest season.
No, well, that doesn't mean much because you have a very limited sample of
No,
what
I know,
decks you
I know. I
play.
just find it funny that like like what is
Yeah,
this
I mean,
checking
some
against?
people were saying it was a buyout group,
Yeah.
you know? I don't know if I buy that.
It's too close to pro like why? It's close to ProQuest season. And I don't think it's yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it would be very weird to try to do a buyout right now, I would think.
Yeah. Of Tales of Aria, random majestic. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know because you do wanna take advantage of a market dynamic if you're doing a buyout, and a ProQuest is a market dynamic.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't follow singles close enough to have an opinion on that, on whether it's a buyout or not, but, either way, it did pump.
Hmm.
It's down now to 18 though.
Okay. So now it's going back to normal prices.
Yeah, but I think everything is. Even the Crown has stopped selling, like, a lot of stuff. Everyone's like, "It's too late now to get it in time."
Yeah.
So, I think most of that market is gonna cool off now, as we said it would.
I think people will still order it thinking it'll come in time.
I was looking at the Crown specifically because I was gonna
Oh,
sell
yeah.
my rainbow foil,
Yeah.
and I put it up there, and it's not sold. And it was the cheapest one. I don't know if it is anymore. So that means if it didn't sell, the price is coming down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which means that demand is not the same as it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago, whenever all that craziness started to happen.
Does make sense.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because I mean, TCG Player allows you a pretty wide window for it to come. So
yeah, yeah. 15 days.
yeah.
That's not very reliable if you have a ProQuest in a week or two.
No. I did order the Marvel Hanabi Blaster in case I play Dash, but it's not something I need because I have one already. I just
Yeah,
maybe I'll be a little fancier. We'll see. We'll see if that comes this week. I think it usually like when I order like one like nice card, it usually comes within the week, but we shall see.
yeah. The nicer cards are, I think, more likely to show up faster
Yeah,
versus a regular card, even that's an expensive one.
right. Because
And
I,
I think the reason why is because most of that stuff people keep kind of ready to ship. They're
mhm,
in the top loader already. They're already, sitting in a special place because they know it's a special card. They don't have
right.
to dig through the collection to find it. Whereas like this round's on me. If I were to sell one today, a single, I'd have to go find it. Like I'd have to go get it and pull it out and make sure I get the one that's not chipped or whatever
Mhm,
and put it in a thing and da 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 da. Like it's in a sleeve, but it's not like ready to go.
right.
So
Yeah, like I just made an order early last week or maybe a little before ordering the rest of the pieces so I don't open any more Dynasty. I just ordered all the pieces I was missing and just got the cheaper versions of everything and it was like dirt cheap. But because like a lot of those majestics are just nothing now.
yeah,
And
that's why I was shocked when I saw that price. I was like, "What the
yeah, yeah.
heck?"
And so everything came like the three expensive pieces were the three mechanoids. I got three rainbow mechanoids, and those were the
Mhm.
first three to show up. And then the last one to show up was the bulk of 11 cards of just random cards. So
So
random
I'm looking
foils.
around because I wanted to see, and foil this round's on me actually does appear to be gone in a lot of places. It's sold out in most of these other shops.
I mean, it could be because of the art. Like, it's a great art card.
Yeah, it is. I don't understand. Like, I really don't get it. Everfest was printed a lot. so they should exist. Like, they should be out there, unless it was one of those that was like an accidental low print run. I mean, it is a
No,
more useful card than a lot of the M's in that set
absolutely.
because
The
it's a
staple card.
generic
Yeah.
M that's actually useful on a lot of different decks.
Yeah. It
But
has
to
Yorick and
be,
Oldhim and Lexi
I
and
don't think.
Briar.
I mean, the art's cool, but I don't think the art's what's selling it.
It's one
I
of
think
my
it's
favorite
just
arts.
the usability of it because it is a useful card.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
I don't know.
absolutely.
Maybe people are just buying multiple playsets so they don't have to switch them between decks.
I don't think they're doing that with rainbows.
Some people like bling. I mean, if you're a tournament,
Yeah.
but you're right. Like a rainbow foil is now it's unless there's a trick where you mark that this round's on me by having a foil so that you can see where it is in the deck. No, I'm just kidding. People, I don't think people are that malicious in this
No,
game.
so I see it as like a sideboard card for like the small aggro decks like
It
Katsu
is a
and
sideboard.
Fi
Yeah,
and yeah,
yeah, it's definitely sideboard. It's
yeah.
not a main for
Because
most.
some heroes you don't want to give them a card.
Yeah, 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 totally. And yeah, you absolutely do not want to give them a card.
Yeah,
And some that -1 is just absolutely devastating.
yeah, absolutely. But so I wanted to see what we thought because I mean it just I'm guilty of this of just not looking around and just going to TCG Player, finding the best deal, and then calling it a day.
Well, the good thing about TCG Player, and I think the reason people do that is the protection on both the buyer and seller side,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, which
So that's
is
huge.
huge. Yeah,
Yeah. And so that's usually worth any sort of minor premium because if you're getting it for cheaper elsewhere in a place that's lower volume like eBay, you may also be getting ripped off instead of getting what you think you're getting, you
right,
know?
right.
Which is why I just stick with TCG Player. I
Because with
understand that.
eBay, they aren't checked unless it's over
Oh
$500.
my god, eBay, you don't know what's gonna happen. I've ordered so many things that have been just totally wrong. Sometimes I get multiple cards when I only ordered one. Like, all sorts of stuff has happened on eBay. Because I think it's typically shops that have been around longer and they just have a library and it's a new game, and so people don't necessarily understand it. Like I've ordered first edition stuff and gotten not first edition stuff many times.
Yeah,
So now I've had that happen on TCG Player too. To be fair, it's been
Flesh and
taken
Blood is
care of
very
very easily.
confusing. Like
Oh
I
my god, the
yeah,
older stuff is so bad.
yeah,
And I've actually had conversations with shop owners. I've been like, "Look, I know this is confusing, but I have a picture.
yeah,
Here's a picture of what it should be. Here's
yeah,
what you sent me. I understand that it's confusing. Rainbow foil versus cold foil has
yep.
confused the crap out of people.
That came
Oh
up at
my
the
god,
shop yesterday. They had
so
a
often."
rainbow foil. Um, oh, what's the illusionist legs? Leggy legs.
The legs for days.
Legs for
I
days.
know what you're talking about. I can't remember.
Phantasmal
Um,
footsteps.
that's it. Yeah, the
Brain
footsteps.
fart.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we were talking. The shop had a single of one, and he was just blown away that it was called rainbow foil because he couldn't find all the colors of the rainbow anywhere.
That's fair. Their
But
rainbow foil's just kinda like
it's
shiny
yeah,
foil.
it's mainly a Magic and Pokemon shop, so I get it. Rainbow is rainbow
Yeah,
in those
yeah, yeah.
games.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
but, and then usually rainbow is rainbow in Flesh and Blood, but Phantasmal Footsteps is just like we had to show him an
They're
example of a cold foil, and then he was able to be like, "Oh, okay,
yeah.
now I get it."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and
Because
that's the thing, I think cold foiling was new at this game, right? So,
right,
people aren't really sure what that means
right,
until they experience it.
right,
So,
and it's even in a picture online. It's like, okay,
yeah, these spikes have dropped. My goodness. So the rainbow foil, crown
hmm
is down to 215. It was in, like, 250 range when we were
yeah, it
talking about
was,
it
yeah,
in that Discord.
but
So
it's
it
still
it
higher than it was.
it's been around 200 for a while.
Has it? I thought it was around
Yeah,
like 150.
maybe. Let me look at the sales history because I did stop paying attention for a little bit. 170.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I guess the low was 165.
Okay.
164. So yeah, you're right. It was definitely below 200 though.
Yeah.
So, but that was all the way back. And no, that was around Christmas. Yeah, so yeah, you're right. It was lower.
Okay.
I guess I wasn't paying attention.
Oh yeah, you didn't need one.
Yeah, no, I had two. I have two,
But
a rainbow and a gold.
yeah, I don't know. I just think it's an interesting thought,
Yeah. You know
especially
what
with the
hasn't
roundup.
spiked in price? Skullbone cross wrap.
It did. Or did it
Not
come back
really.
down?
I mean, what was it before? What
I
was it
got
when we got it? Because we both got it when it was dirt cheap.
I
Because
paid
it was
the
like, why is this legendary this cheap? It should not be.
I paid 29.95.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah. Then it is up. It's still dirt cheap. It's
Yeah.
$60.
Yeah. It was back when I had some random credit on Channel Fireball from something like their marketplace. And so I was like, what? And I just wanted off. Like I just didn't want to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
anything. And I was just
yeah.
like, what can I get with this? Oh, cross wrap. I don't have that legendary. I'll
Yeah,
just
exactly. It's a legendary that's that cheap. Why
yeah.
don't you buy it? You know,
No, well,
someday it will be
okay, well,
useful.
with that logic, Bolton's legendary in Dynasty has that gone
Was
up from $17?
I mean, I will definitely buy it if it's that low
It
because
was.
yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I'm waiting on Dynasty because you wait for the low point. It's not at the
Yeah.
low point yet, so that's why
So you
I wait
think
until it
that
drops.
a legendary is going to be less than 17? That's wild.
Possibly, it's
Yeah,
very possible. It's a very low demand card, you know, and hero,
it's true.
but it won't necessarily always be. His day will come.
Bolton came in second in our CC armory yesterday. Just saying.
That's pretty good, but also feels like it's a lucky matchups because he's pretty predictable. There's like he does one thing.
I was into the wins were against Dory and Viscerai. Dory and Viscerai with 0 AB against Viscerai.
Interesting. That's pretty good.
But then, Kano last game. You can't. No AB. You can't.
No, no. Yeah, because I think you need all the equipment.
Unless you combo off turn 2. So
Yeah.
yeah, because you
Yeah.
need all the equipment to make that combo.
Yeah, exactly. That's why
Yeah.
Bolton's day will come. It's not now.
Yeah.
So I was like, someday, because it's a very predictable win con, and so everyone knows how to deal with it for the most part.
Right.
But in a competitive environment, at least.
Right. Right.
Um, Interesting. Yeah, his day will come. That legendary will go up.
Yeah.
Well, here's to be fair. His day will come. That legendary won't necessarily go up as a result
Right.
because it
Sure.
depends on what his day looks like. Because if it's something of a different combination that they build out for him in a different set, different story altogether. And God, when are we going to get cards that are like light cards?
Uh,
Right?
eventually. When are we
Like,
going to get
right?
more elemental cards?
Well, we had two sets with elemental cards. We've only had one with light.
True.
You know, like poor Monarch. We
Wait.
only had the one.
No. What's the
Yeah.
other elemental?
We had ice cards in multiple things.
Yeah, ice cards. But what about elemental?
That is elemental.
No. Elemental is elemental.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like actual just elemental
Yeah.
cards. Wasn't there maybe you're right. Maybe we
Mhm.
didn't we had the elements, we didn't have an elemental card. I don't know
Just
if that
ice. We didn't get earth. We didn't get lightning.
that's not true. No, that is true.
Tell me.
Yeah,
Tell
I
me I'm
think you're
wrong.
right. I think you're right. Yeah.
We got
But we
ice
did
because
get
of
ice.
Icelander.
That was my point.
Because of
Yeah, but that's what I
Icelander.
was
Yeah.
saying. Yeah. Yeah, they could come out with another hero and do light, and they haven't. Why? They definitely did it with Tales of Aria. They had
Er,
3 sets that had, like, elemental focused stuff. Icelander was all the way up until Uprising.
And it was just ice stuff.
I know, but point being, that's a bigger card pool than poor Light Warrior got.
It's true. Well, yeah. No, of course. Bolton's crying in a corner. That's fine.
Bolton got 1 set.
Yeah. No, I know. I know. I know.
Icelander's had 3, and she wasn't even in the first of the 3.
I know. I know.
So,
And
yeah,
look
I
at
don't
where
know what they're
Icelander
gonna
is now. Doing real well.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the
what I
other
mean.
thing. If there's a
That's why
bunch
I'm
of
like, Bolden's Day will come when they get around to light again. And I imagine they'll wait until they have some more
yeah,
heroes where it makes sense.
and that's the other thing. What if there's a bunch of Icelanders at Battle I don't want to play Dash.
Fair, and there will be.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Arachne into Icelander, I'm all right with it.
Is it? Is it good?
It's fine.
Because I used to wreck you, but it's been a long time. You've modified
No,
the crap out of that
yeah,
deck.
yeah, yeah. I play a
That
lot
was
of
that was
blues.
that was in the very beginning. Like you were
Yeah,
still figuring out the basic
yeah.
combos. So
Yeah, I was trying to make the 2 attacks happen.
yeah, okay, yeah. The aggro version.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
that's not Arachne's game.
No.
That's what I think. That's when I came up with a theory about Dash. Like, if you can't do 20 output, you're not aggro.
Mhm.
Don't be
Yeah.
like, just don't.
I think Fi is viable.
Fi is viable, but Fi has a different way of building up. I feel like Fi is not really aggro. I mean, it is,
Yeah, it
but
is.
isn't he more setup because it's about setting up your Phoenix Flames?
Mm. It's just going
He's
wide.
he's
That's
a
just a part of it.
hybrid. He's a hybrid
Yeah,
because if you're not setting him up, you're not winning with him. If you're not
that's
doing the over the top turns, you're gonna miss.
no, you just wait for the Art of War turns.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does help. Yeah, but the way that Art of War turns work is by having extra Phoenix Flames that makes it more powerful.
Right, sure, of
It's
course.
a
I mean, yeah,
setup. It's
that's
a
yeah,
setup
yeah, yeah.
thing. Yeah, that's what I mean. He's I feel like he's an aggro setup hybrid. That's
Yeah.
how I look at him.
He
I
just
could be
does the
wrong.
setup himself though. He just
He does do the setup
yeah.
himself, but
Yeah.
that's how most setup decks work.
Oh,
Like think
yeah,
about
yeah.
the
Yeah, yeah.
the bashing Rhinar and the
Yeah, it's like
what
Dash.
else?
You boost so that you get the counters.
Oh, I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
That is that, except you boost anyways, so it's not like you're really going for the counters. You just get the counters as a
You're playing Draconics attacks anyway.
no. The Phoenix Flames, you're playing draconic attacks that have things that go hunt them down and bring them into your hand or
Right.
arsenal.
Exactly.
That's not. Yeah, I guess it's kind of the same,
Yeah.
but it's when to
It's
use
very
them.
similar. Yeah.
Whereas
Of
Hanabi
course
is
there's
like,
differences. They're different heroes.
yeah. That's fair. That's fair. I feel like even if your Hanabi doesn't go off, you still win with dash.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, Dash is probably
Fi,
going to be
if you
what I
don't get
play.
your big turn with the multi Phoenixes, I
Oh,
think
sure,
you
right.
miss.
Yeah, and that's what happened at the Battle Hardened Philly. I played a Fi with my dash, and it was a super unoptimized dash list because it was right after Dynasty started, and I
Yeah.
blew Fi out of the water. Like
Yeah.
I was sitting at like 36 at the end of the game.
Yep. You just help improve my point.
Yeah.
Anyways. Other things on TCG player mispricing. Booster
Um,
boxes?
yeah, you want to talk about give a little market update spiel?
No, not really.
So what do you
Don't
think
have
about
any
booster
data
boxes?
prepared for it, so I can't help you with that. But
No, like
I would
you're
say TCG player booster boxes for Flesh and Blood are on par with the market. Like you don't usually get a better deal somewhere else. In fact, you usually get a worse deal somewhere else.
yeah, I'll agree with that.
Now, Pokemon, on the other hand, you can definitely find better deals elsewhere.
If you're buying the right thing.
Well, even if you're not buying the right thing,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
still, I think the reality is the trick there is you got to find the right deal at the right time. So
Mhm.
I think it's about volume. It's like Pokemon. There's a billion Pokemon stores.
Yeah,
Flesh and Blood,
for sure.
there's not a billion. So TCG Player does represent the primary marketplace for at least booster boxes. Um,
And there's a
with you know
lot of demand for
eBay
Flesh
being
and
a
Blood right now.
second. Yeah. And then like Pokemon, there's even more demand, but there's as a result, there's just volume everywhere. So you have all these boxes that are someone's discounting and trying to
Yeah.
sell at
But
a
yeah, that's the
loss.
thing. There's a lot of demand for Pokemon, but not all the demand is channeled into the booster box. Whereas Flesh and Blood, all the demand is channeled into the booster box.
No,
You
it's
know what I mean?
not.
You don't
No,
think
it's
so?
not. No, God, no.
I
No,
think it
no, no,
is.
no.
What other
It's
products does
in
Flesh and Blood have?
it's into the cards,
Oh,
individual
sure. Yeah, yeah,
cards
yeah.
by far.
I'm not
This is
talking.
definitely a player's game where singles are more dynamic and more directly tied.
Yes, I agree with that completely. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is
I feel
when
like
it
the
comes
boxes actually follow the card market, which is crazy.
right, what I'm saying is when someone is buying a Flesh and Blood product, they're buying the booster box. When people are buying Pokemon product, they can buy the
Oh,
booster box, they can buy the
or the
ETB, they can
ETB. I
buy
see what
the
you mean. I see
singles, the
what you mean. I see
blister
what you mean.
pack, all these different products, the
That's fair.
booster
Yeah.
bundle.
and
So
so
there's
some
demand
boosters
for the
just
game
don't
as a
sell.
whole,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
not everyone is buying by the booster box.
Fair. That I
And
agree
so
with. Yeah.
stores may be unloading the booster boxes because they are the highest price item. And so they are just looking to get that off their books, recoup those funds or whatever. And so they will dump those for lower prices, um, if you can time it right.
Yeah. Now, the downside of that, when you go outside TCG player, like we said earlier, for the other stuff, it's the scams. My
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
there's so many scams around Pokemon and other things like that.
Yeah. You
Even
definitely have to
War
be
the
careful.
not TCG, the was the Magic Warhammer decks
Yeah.
I bought that I
Through
thought was a
Amazon, third
discount.
party.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that, I didn't buy it through Amazon. I bought it through a third party,
Oh,
and
okay.
it was a scam. I had to get my money back. Just a pure scam shop. It didn't actually function, or they weren't giving returns on things. It was just this whole thing. I got it back because I use like PayPal. I always try to use a protective service in between.
Yeah. I think my stuff is due in Thursday,
Yeah, I
which
mean,
is,
I haven't got my shipping from that one third party, but I hope it comes through for some good
I got an
Pokemon deals.
email. Check your email.
Yeah, I
It
haven't
came and
gotten
it
it.
came like multiple days later.
Yeah, it's been a few days, but not that many. That's why I'm not
Yeah.
worried about it yet.
Yeah.
Like we'll see. But yeah, you can get some deals outside of TCG Player for Pokemon products. Clearly for Flesh and Blood singles, although it does seem to catch up because it looks like TCG players coming down and there is low stock of the surrounds on me for whatever reason in a lot of places. Like I went through a bunch of single shops and most of them are sold out.
Yeah.
So they had lower listing prices, but they were sold out. So that's why I don't know. I don't get it, but it is a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and then if you want, I always really like. I've ordered singles and product off of MinMax Games. We're not sponsored, but if they'd like to sponsor us, they're welcome to.
Yeah,
But
would love that.
they are. If you are uncomfortable with the whole TCG and are looking for to get your cards quicker and are willing to pay a little bit of a premium, sometimes not. Sometimes they're the same price. Sometimes they're a little lower. But yeah, I found them to be a great resource
Yeah,
for
for
getting
sure.
cards and boxes. And they have good deals. I signed up for their newsletter and have snagged a couple deals off of their like they have these like flash sales. And they're usually pretty good.
So what is map these days? It's 85 or 90.
I don't know. I think it's at 87 something.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
87.50 because they increased
Yeah,
the
yeah.
price.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking about that. I was like, what is that
Because
at
map
these
used to
days?
be like
Because that's going to
84.
change on, well, okay, in a typical TCG, at least in my experience, you get your case premium because the gambler, you basically are guaranteed some good cards if you get a case. Box over pack, pack over individual cards, right?
Yes.
Um, so map should hold card prices up based on that concept, but I don't think it does. And that's why you hear those complaints about people like, I don't know why I didn't get a case or a case or two or whatever that equal the card value. Like the card value is way lower than what it is.
Right.
Interesting. Interesting stuff. Did you
Speaking
see
of
surgical extraction is at $60?
hell, what's the rainbow at?
I have no idea. Let's see. 75?
Let's go. I made the right choice for now.
Crazy. Yeah, right. Is this a ProQuest spike? Like, what is this?
No, I think it really is that just that short print. I think it's like gonna be like
It is short printed or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Or just super high demand.
I it could be both. I mean, he's a very fun hero. I'm having a blast with him.
Yeah.
And that card is like probably the scariest attack he has.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But speaking of map, real quick,
Yeah.
um, completely side tangent. Uh, Grand Archive came out with their map statement.
Oh, I didn't even know they were doing one. What is it?
Yeah. So it's 80% is the map. So a box is the lowest the store can list a box for is going to be 86.39.
For how long though?
This applies to pre-order sales as well. It's not. I'll have to read more, but
Yeah.
same applies for a case, and a case is going to be 6 booster boxes.
Okay.
The policy is in effect in all countries where map policies may be enforced. The map is the equivalent local currency as listed above. I'm trying to see until 1 month after the official release date. So it's only a
Oh, that's
month.
not bad. Yeah,
No,
that's actually I
that's pretty.
that may be
That's,
too short.
or they're just
You
seeing like where's the demand.
what works, yeah, yeah. They reserve the right to change the policy, I'm sure.
Yeah, has no effect on the starter decks, which is good. So stores can sell the starter decks for
Yeah,
whatever they
forever.
want.
That's the way.
Yeah, and has no effect on future Grand Archive products. So it's only for this first set.
Oh, okay. This is a yeah, that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, it's a first wave getting things sorted situation.
Yep. Basically making the people that are buying this at a store level hold, not just tank the prices day one if something goes bad. Which I
Yeah.
don't think things will. I think this is a pretty easy, simple policy and not too strict. So I think it shows that they have faith in their boxes.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, see what happens.
I mean, if someone's putting out the first wave at 86.39, I will be buying a case just to play for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I think TCG Player is a great resource, but it is not the only resource. So if you are looking for specific cards, make sure you look around before just going there and calling it a day.
But
Now,
use PayPal or something that protects you.
yeah, oh, absolutely, yeah. But I don't know. Anything else before we wrap up?
Nothing on
Anything else
that.
you wanted to talk about? Anything else
Uh,
interesting happened this week? Any interesting card dynamics? We can rant about Pokemon a little bit. We've talked about all our Flesh and Blood stuff. We've been we've
go
been
for it.
talking about it on the side, but not really like recent. So we
Yeah.
can throw in some crazy prediction, hot take kind of things.
Yeah. What's your hot
Um,
take?
Following up on a previous podcast where we were talking about our habits, investing habits for 2023 and switching to Pokemon, John and I dove headfirst into that in the new year and picked up a bunch of boxes. And some have made it, some are still on the way. So we will see what actually shows up.
Yeah.
But if all goes according to plan and what I ordered shows up, we should be in a good spot already because boxes are moving.
Yeah, it's insane. It's
So
not gonna last. It's not gonna
no,
last.
no, no.
There's stuff. I'm gonna start moving like to sell sooner rather than later because those reprints will come. Question is, how long do you hold before the announcement hits?
Well, they already announced.
No, no, that it's actually like in stock.
Oh, right. And it now
Um,
it may be just a small reprint. They didn't say the size of it.
no, but it's clear they care a lot about the secondary market pricing.
Yeah, and a lot of these sets are, especially the newer sets like Lost Origin, Silver Tempest. They are in the competitive scene. Like Silver Tempest is a very competitive. Like you need those cards in that for the competitive game. And so, if prices get too crazy on the cheapest version of a playable card, they're gonna reprint it because they do
Yeah,
actually look at like they actually really do care about their organized play. Like they also do like store events and store promos and all that stuff that Flesh and Blood does. Pokemon does that too. But yeah, I don't have time to get into another one. That's why I just play on my phone.
yeah, it's interesting. The dynamic there is crazy. The prices have spiked insane. Um, so if you bought a few weeks ago, you've probably made money already. I know I have. So that's why I'm looking to offload it because it won't last. They did promise to reprint. The
Mhm,
update explicitly says they're let's see, the impacted TCG products, which are all the booster boxes that cost too much.
mhm.
They're printing as quickly as possible at a maximum capacity to support this increased demand.
Yeah.
The reprinted products are expected to be available at retailers as soon as possible. So they are moving as fast as they can, but it sounds like word is nothing before March. So
Right.
we have some time until that happens.
So it will probably come with the new
New
Scarlet
set.
and Violet set. And I feel like a lot of money will be going into those, but I feel like that I'm avoiding it first because there's going to be
Yeah,
a
I'm not
lot of
touching
hype
that.
for it. There's going to
Yeah,
be a
I'm
lot of
not
hype for it,
touching
and
it.
there's going to be
Yeah.
a lot of it. So I am definitely going to be holding
Well,
off on that. I
and
will.
unlike this old era, which my understanding is they don't really expect them to reach back and print this Sword and Shield after a little bit.
Right.
Um, you're gonna have that base set on print for at least a year,
Right. So yeah,
right?
exactly.
So
2 years.
that's why, like, you have time. Don't rush
No.
on that.
No.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. So what I'm looking at is like the fusion strikes, the evolving sky, the chilling rain, even the battle styles, like that. That stuff is what I that's what's rotating first because those are the older sets. And so those I feel like if we do get a reprint in March, it won't be much.
The older ones,
Um
yeah, I agree with that. It's the newer,
it's the
the
Lost
call the
Origin,
last
Silver
4 or
Tempest.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Those
Yeah.
are probably showing up because I think they said Astral Radiance was on the
Brilliant
list.
Stars.
Brilliant Stars, I think, was on the list,
Yeah.
and I think that's as far back as it went. I don't remember anything before that.
Yeah.
I
I'd
don't
expect to
remember
see
hearing anything before that.
yeah. But I mean,
So
I don't know. I've opened a couple packs of Brilliant Stars and uh Silver Tempest now, and it's good. It's fun. I enjoy
I
it.
can't. This is crazy. Chilling Rain is at 800 a case now.
Hmm.
It is going up like crazy fast because it was at like 700 when we talked about it like 2 days ago.
Yeah. So, and then one of the things we were also talking about was uh one of the things John and I we kind of categorize games into different buckets of risk. All of this is risk. None of this is financial advice. But the idea, our logic behind Magic and Pokemon being like the stable ones, and then where you're kind of it's less risk in prices dropping to like nothing, and having like Flesh and Blood, Grand Archive, all these new games, MetaZoo example, uh, going real low is a higher chance. Now I haven't moved Flesh and Blood uh, into that kind of reliable form, but I think it will get there. I think it's on its way there. It's somewhere in between for
Yeah,
sure.
that's I put it in
Yeah,
medium category.
and then
So
I
you have
have
low risk, high risk, and medium is Flesh and Blood because it's transitioning into that more stable,
right,
steady.
and the older stuff's starting to disappear.
Yeah.
So then you have I'm moving Magic down to that medium, possibly even low, because
Now,
I am not buying Magic unless it is sold by Jeffrey Bezos.
sure, but that doesn't mean it will go to zero. That's my
No,
point.
yeah, and
Like,
no,
that's
I'm
why
not.
I
Yeah,
still
yeah,
say it's still low risk. It's just
yeah.
a question of how long it takes for these sets that are coming out right now to give you the return, right?
Right, right.
I mean, if
Whereas,
you look at an annualized average of 7%, which is historically what people look for with
yeah,
TCGs, then I totally see that still being the case. Even with garbage like Midnight Hunt and all that stuff, I still see 7% 5 years
don't
after
talk trash on
release.
Midnight Hunt. That's one of my favorite sets this past
Okay, well, that's one of the ones
year.
that performed really poorly. Everyone hated it,
Yeah,
apparently. I didn't hate it. I thought it was fine.
I just like Meat
Crimson Vow
Massacre.
then. Crimson
Meat
Vow?
Massacre. What a
Everyone
card.
hated
Oh, I
Crimson
hate.
Vow,
Yeah, I
right?
do
Yeah,
dislike
okay.
Crimson Vow.
I feel like most of them lump them together, but you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
It
yeah.
did have Meat Hook Massacre and
Meat
Midnight
Massacre is
Hunt.
so good. It's so
It
good.
is. Isn't it banned now, or did they
Yeah,
not ban it?
yeah,
Yeah, I thought
yeah.
so, yeah. But point being that 5 years from now, I would be surprised if you don't get a 5%, annualized. Now,
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
the thing that's interesting, and I think something that most people don't realize is you're not getting 5% every year. It's not like a bond where you
Right,
actually get 5%
right.
every year. You get all of it at once during those. We talk about this on the market update, the steps, the step ladder,
Yeah,
right? Where it suddenly there's just not enough around and it spikes up to that next price. And then that's kind of like the equilibrium. And then so you don't get it over the years. It'll be the same price for 3, 4 years, and then it will spike up. And then on average, it was 5% per year to 7%
Yeah,
over
that
that
makes
time
sense.
frame. That seems to be pretty standard. I still expect that to happen with Magic. I think there will be some exceptions. I do think they overprinted some stuff, which will do kind of like, I mean, they've done this in the past many times.
Yeah.
Gate crashers. Um, it'll be like that.
Yeah.
But that's not unusual. That happens. I think every 10 years they've done that pretty significantly.
Yeah.
You have the set that just doesn't go up forever. It takes
Right.
forever.
Right. But point being, that leaves Pokemon as the stable.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
think a lot of
Well,
money.
and that's I actually don't know, like, if we're talking 5-year time frame, I don't think that will hold to be true. I think what's happening now is everyone's hyping into it
Yeah.
because their printers aren't able to keep up. I think it's gonna do just what every other TCG does. It'll overcorrect because it takes a while for you to get data, right? You have to
Right.
turn the printer on months and months before it hits market. So what's going to happen is they're feeling crushed behind. They're going to print more than they should for the next set and the next set and the next set.
Mhm.
And what we may see is this new set is overprinted to hell, and will be the
Which would be
new
awesome because I want to
would be
open a
the
bunch.
same thing as what we're seeing now in Magic, where it's
Yeah.
like it doesn't have the demand, the prices don't go up, it da 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 da, all that
Yeah.
same stuff. So I mean, I think that's just the cycle of the business, man.
Yeah. No, it
Yeah,
is. It is.
because wasn't XY pretty bad from a market standpoint?
I mean, it
That's
was
what
a rough
everyone
time
said.
for
I
yeah.
wasn't around. Yeah, I
It was a
wasn't paying
rough
attention to
it was a rough time for the game.
it.
Not
Yeah,
many people were interested. There wasn't much hype for the IP.
yeah.
But I mean, you have to remember, like Pokemon as an IP is larger than Star Wars, is larger than Marvel. It's not larger than Disney as a whole and all of their things, but individually, Pokemon is higher than each one of their things individually.
Yeah, but that I'm not sure that matters.
No, I'm just talking about the size of the IP.
Yeah, but the IP isn't what matters to card prices. That's my
No,
point.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
it's a
I agree.
very subset section. I think that argument's kind of foolish. It's not thinking about reality of markets and how they work because your IP can be huge. Just because a billion people watch the cartoon doesn't mean a billion people buy the card. In
Right,
fact, we know for a fact not even close to a billion people buy the cards, right?
right.
So, so yeah,
But
so yeah, big deal. You have a
yeah,
good IP, that's fine. It means it's not going anywhere, right?
right,
Because there's always
right.
people that will be interested. There'll be a subset that are interested, but it doesn't. That doesn't lend you strength to an overprinted era. You know
No,
what I
yeah,
mean?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, over the holidays, I spent some time with my cousin's kids, and they are all into Pokemon, and like all in. Like they are playing the game. Like they are the video
It's cool.
game, the card game.
That's exciting. I hope they continue to like
Like
have that
they have a hold.
popularity.
They have had a hold on every. So I thought at first I was like, oh, this is just a nostalgic for my generation because I grew up on it. Da, 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 da. Like it was Pokemon was a pivotal monolith piece of my childhood, and the card game was a key part of that, as well as the video games and the show. And now they are making this huge jump with Scarlet and Violet. It's not just um, the next era for the cards and the game, but it's also the next era for the show, which is I think a bigger deal than the XY change and the Sword and Shield didn't have.
Mhm.
So all the other eras were revolving around Ash, like the OG, like the original main character of Pokemon. He's always kind of been around. Now it's someone else. It's this young girl. She has a little beret that has the same symbol as Ash's hat. Is this Ash's daughter? Is this Ash's daughter's journey?
No,
I hope so. Why not?
it isn't.
You know it's not.
Yeah, because when they retired him, he was the same age. They did a retirement ceremony.
Yeah,
He wasn't an adult. He was
right,
still a kid.
right.
So
But this new
no,
series could be in the future.
oh, are you saying they do a time jump?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I was thinking like immediate, but yeah, I guess
No,
that
no,
you
no.
could do that. But it's weird that they retire him as not an adult and then suddenly he's an adult. I feel like that's a
That's an
strange way of
anime
doing it.
thing.
That's
That could
true.
be an
It's
anime
fair.
thing.
That's fair. That's fair. Could be then. Yeah, it might be. That'd be kind of cool.
I think it would be awesome. I think it's super exciting. and I'm gonna be watching it. Actually, I plan on watching that.
He's like, I have no shame.
I have
I
no
will
shame.
watch it.
No,
I don't care.
absolutely. Who do I have to impress? No one.
That's true.
No
That's true.
one.
Um, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think it'll be
I
really
don't know.
interesting.
Magic will be back. I am not
Oh,
afraid
sure.
for
Yeah, yeah,
Magic. It's I don't think it's even gone. I think it's just overprinted right now. It seems like they've already cut print runs for this year basically because it's decision making from 2 years ago that got to here.
sure.
Um,
Absolutely.
so we will see. I'm not betting on it. I'm still going with Bezos because I think the model is shifting. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like I think there's a
yeah, yeah,
good deal to be had as opposed to just jumping on releases and stuff. So the
yeah,
model's different. You got to learn that, but I don't think it's going anywhere. When you go to events and 75% of it's Magic, most of the shops are Magic, most of the players are Magic, and it's like okay, Magic.
yeah,
Most of these people here didn't even know about Magic 30 because it was a specialty product. Like they didn't even care. They were just at the next set release for the draft and the pre-release. You know what I mean?
yeah. No, I get it.
So
Cool. Well,
yep,
anything else before? Anything else you want to ramble on before we close this up?
yeah, I think we're good. We've rambled just enough.
Cool. Well, until we ramble next week, we will catch you guys later.
Have a good one.